We all know Minecraft is good, right? But could it be better? That's what I'm going to be finding out in the next 100 days, with added biomes and mobs, improved weapons and structures, and an overall more mind-blowing experience than the vanilla game, to find out how good Minecraft really can be. Day 1, I spawned on a beach. I punched a tree for wood and I made a crafting table. I then used the remaining wood to make a pickaxe, and I gathered some stone so I could upgrade my tools. I then spotted a pirate ship in the water, so I swam over to it, only to find I'd have to start a fight to get any loot. And I definitely didn't have the gear to do that right now. Luckily though, I did find another structure, which was safe enough for me to loot, giving me items like ink sacks and gold, as well as a new equipable item for this mod. Another thing I ended up finding was this waystone. Spoilers, I ended up forgetting about them and never using them throughout the 100 days. After this though, I ended up looting a villager fishing boat, which gave me fish. I then went back to the mainland to collect some more wood and start exploring. I would clearly need food at some point, so I killed some pigs along the way and gathered some coal to cook them up. Soon after, I came across a swamp temple on the other side of a volcano, and to the surprise of absolutely nobody, it was not friendly. Unfortunately, I ended up leaving that temple empty-handed, but I ended up killing some slimes for slime balls instead. I then ended off day 1 by sleeping at this random campsite. I started off day 2 by killing a creeper, collecting some hay, and finding my first iron. I then continued exploring, finding multiple structures along the way. After all that, I finally found an area to start building. Once I'd finished my base, I started experimenting with different items, crafting myself a nice backpack, as well as using my iron to craft an iron pickaxe and a helmet. I also found a new mob, which looked a lot like a Pokemon. Another thing I found was this stable, where I ended up getting myself a horse. This made it a lot easier to go exploring, so I decided to use this opportunity to go mining for some iron. The better transport also helped me find a lot more structures. I did also end up finding my first netherite, but I couldn't mine it yet because I needed a diamond pickaxe. It would seem I have to be careful of these traps from now on. Anyway, I eventually made it back home and ended up upgrading my backpack. I also thought it'd be a good time to go find diamonds, so I began to dig a staircase next to my base so I could start my strip mine. However, I ended up finding most of my diamonds in this large cave. Day 13, I made myself a diamond pickaxe and finally made the nether portal. In this mod, the nether was a lot different to vanilla Minecraft. There were new mobs and even some new ores. Once I got back, I used some of the new ores and created some nice looking armor. I also crafted a ruby sword, which was around the same level as a diamond one. I then went back to the nether as I had to collect some glowstone. I needed this glowstone as I wanted to create an aether portal. When I entered the aether, I found some new mobs, a new ore, and also a dungeon. And of course, since this was a dungeon, I had to check for any traps. I did find out though, that these chest monsters weren't too strong, so I ended up exploring the rest of the dungeon. I then came across this mysterious room, and I accidentally started a boss fight. I actually managed to beat the boss, and I got some nice loot in return. After that eventful trip, I made my way back home. I killed a bird and tested out my new items. After that, I made my way back to the nether to look for a fortress. After getting some nice loot from some structures and not deciding to kill any blazes yet, I made my way back. I also finally found out how to properly equip the gloves. Also, another thing I had found in the nether was more ruby, so I used that to craft some armor. And as much as I liked my treehouse, I wanted to find an area where I could build a bigger base, so I spent a lot of time collecting some wood. I then set off on my journey to find a new base location. And once I had travelled thousands of blocks, I got to building. Unfortunately, in the base location I found, I would need to stand next to torches so I wouldn't freeze. I did eventually take a break from building the house, and I tamed myself some dogs. I also found civilization, and had this guy pick a fight against me. I also tried to loot this temple, which ended up being a disaster. This was a very sad time, as I thought by the time I'd be able to get to my loot, it would have despawned. Something I did forget, however, was that all my loot was in a grave, so it was completely fine. Even my parrot ended up surviving. And I ended up finding more ancient debris. I then spent the next few days trying to sort my items into chests. I did, however, find this weird underground area with a lot of zombies. I then dug deeper to soon realise it was a lot more dangerous. and after obtaining some nice loot and another death, I made my way back to the surface. I ended up making a nether portal for my new base, and it didn't end up going well. After getting my loot back, I ran into another boss, which I would even struggle to fight at a long distance. Anyway, I decided to give up on that boss, and I found some new structures. After that, I made my way back home and got straight to upgrading my tools. I also ended up making an enchantment area. And I finally got back to building my house. And after 11 tedious days of collecting and placing blocks, the house was complete. After this, I had to do something interesting, so I searched for a beehive and made my way to the Bumble Zone. In the Bumble Zone, I ended up finding two different cannons, a bee cannon and a crystal cannon. I also found this amazing cup slug shrine and these grass block enemies. After that, I'd had enough of the Bumble Zone, so I decided to head back home. And when I got home, I wanted to explore the Aether. I ended up finding another dungeon, killing some more mobs and then dying on the way, before finding a new boss. However, I'd have to kill 9 more of those enemies that I nearly died to. And once I had gathered enough medals, I could finally fight the boss. some struggles, I had finally defeated the boss and ended up getting some nice loot. However, my journey back home proved to be a different problem. I managed to get my stuff back and headed to the Nether to get some ender pearls and some blaze rods. When I got back, I also made some upgraded netherite armor. Before making my way to the stronghold. I would, however, need more Eyes of Ender to go to the end. So I finished looting the stronghold and made my way back home. I ended up killing some more blazers and some endermen, as well as trading with some piglins, before going to the end. With the dragon god, it would finally allow me to explore the end. And this place is a lot different to vanilla Minecraft. After collecting the egg and making my way back home, I wanted another challenge, so I decided to face my mortal enemy. Yeah, there wasn't much need for the music, that battle was actually quite easy. Anyway, the next few days I spent adding decorations to my house. I also spent a lot of time exploring a trial chamber. Eventually, I went back home and crafted the mace, as well as making a mob farm. And you're probably thinking that I did something exciting on the last few days. Well, no, I struggled to make a water elevator. Yeah. Anyway, day 100, thanks for watching, bye bye.